Dava Punja Bihari. Jai Ho Paramahamsa Kripadikacharya Ashtotara Shishesi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Ca Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present here so that I can speak some words on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 33, verse 30. Evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam bhagavatam avāpiha evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam bhagavantam avāpa evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam bhagavantam avāpa. Evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam bhagavantam avāpa. Evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam bhagavantam avāpa. Evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam bhagavantam avāpa. Vaishnavis. Evam sa kapiloktena mārgeṇācirataḥ param, ātmānam brahma-nirvāṇam, bhagavatam avāpaham, evaṁ sa kapiloktena, brahma-nirvāṇaṁ, ātmānaṁ. Repeat behind me. Evam, thus, sa, she or Devahūti, Kapila, by Kapila, uktena, instructed, mārgeṇa, by the path, acirataḥ, soon, param, supreme, ātmānam, Supersoul, Brahma, Brahman, Nirvāṇam, cessation of material existence, bhagavantam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, avāpa, she achieved, ha, certainly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. My dear Vidura, by following the principles instructed by Kapila, Devahūti soon became liberated from material bondage, and she achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Supersoul without difficulty. But three words have been used in this connection to describe the achievement of Devahūti: Ātmānam, brahma-nirvāṇaṁ and bhagavantam. This refers to the gradual process of discovery of the absolute truth mentioned herein in the Bhagavatam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead resides in various Vaikuṇṭha planets. Nirvāṇa means to extinguish the pangs of material existence. When one is able to enter into the spiritual kingdom or into spiritual realization, one is automatically freed from material pangs. That is called brahma-nirvāṇa. According to Vedic scripture, nirvāṇa means cessation of materialistic way of life. Ātmānam means realization of the Supersoul within the heart. Ultimately, the highest perfection is realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is to be understood that Devahūti entered the planet which is called Kapila Vaikuṇṭha. There are innumerable Vaikuṇṭha planets predominated by the expansion of Vishnu. All the Vaikuṇṭha planets are known by a particular name of Vishnu. As we understand from Brahma-saṁhitā, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadi, ananta-rūpam. Anadi means innumerable. The Lord has innumerable expansions of His transcendental form, and according to the different positions of the symbolical representations in His four hands, He is known as Narayana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, etc. There is also a Vaikuṇṭha planet known as Kapila Vaikuṇṭha, to which Devahūti was promoted to meet Kapila and reside there eternally, enjoying the company of her transcendental son. So today's shloka is a very nice shloka, because today is a winning situation wherein it says that, just now we read that Devahūti went back to Kapila Vaikuṇṭha. So it's a victory day. She achieved the perfection. So this is a very good shloka. But in the translation it says, my dear Vidura, by following the principles. Now suddenly we were listening about Kapila Deva's instructions and then how Devahūti's behavior, all these things, then suddenly why this Vidura is coming into picture. So let us understand here, who is calling here my dear Vidura. So if we go back to Canto 2, we remember some conversation between Maitreya Muni and Vidura. So what happens is Duryodhana throws Vidura out of the house, and being a Vaishnava, it's a sad situation. If somebody puts you out of the house, it's not a very good situation. But Vidura, who is Vidura? Vidur meaning one who knows Supreme, one who knows knowledge. So he used that bad situation into good situation. He thought, let me go to pilgrimage. Let me meet some sadhus, discuss with them some pastimes of Krishna, or hear bhagavantam from them. So he used that situation to do something good. It turned into a good situation. So he was very happy, and on the way he met with Maitreya Muni. And when we met with Maitreya Muni, he was discussing many topics. And one of the topic he discussed was how to go back to Godhead. What are the qualities required for going back to Godhead? And in that situation, one of the case was taken was Devahūti. How Devahūti achieved perfection. Here it is very nicely said in this shloka. By following the principle instructed by Kapila, Devahūti soon became liberated from material bondage, and she achieved the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Supersoul without difficulty. So very important, she soon achieved by following the instructions. So lot of importance is given here. Why she soon achieved and without difficulty. So this is a very meaningful here, why it is soon and why it is without difficulty. Being a devotee, we face so many difficulties, so many calamities. So I believe one time Srila Prabhupada was in US, and he was preaching this Krishna consciousness movement, and then one of the reporter asked him, Swamiji, why are you here in US, in America? What do you want, you want all these American people to follow you, so what will happen to America? Then Srila Prabhupada was very prompt in answering such difficult questions. So he said, yes, if all the boys become devotees, then this place will become Vaikuṇṭha. America will become Vaikuṇṭha. There won't be any Kunta, there won't be any misery. So that is what Srila Prabhupada said. So Vaikuṇṭha meaning where there are no miseries, no suffering, that is Vaikuṇṭha. So we understand that Devahūti went to, this was very new for me also, that she went to Kapila Vaikuṇṭha. Now there are so many demigods in this world, if you say, always we remember Ganesha, Lord Shiva. So they also have their Kunta, they also have their Vaikuṇṭha actually. So it is said that those people who they have their own dham where they worship Lord, that's why it is Vaikuṇṭha. They have their worshipable deity. So that is why it is their Vaikuṇṭha. Like, Ganesha Vaikuṇṭha. The Vaikuṇṭha is for Lord Vishnu because he worships them like that. So it is said that whoever worship those demigods will go to their dham, will go to their planet, right? But there is a trick here. If you worship only the demigod and you have lot of desires, you will get stuck to that planet, wherever the demigod is there. But there is a catch here. If you serve the deity or that Ganesha or whoever, Lord Shiva, with nishkama, meaning without any desires, then that particular Ganesha or Lord Shiva will direct you to Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. That is very interesting. So there are so many people, who come to the temple and they say, I worship this God, I worship that God. So we should always encourage them to do nishkam, meaning without any desires, without any desire. Oh Lord, give me this, oh Lord, give me that. We should encourage them, or we should inspire them to do the service for their, demigod in a very nice way or without desires. So that will lead them to Vaikuṇṭha. So this is one thing. Now, when we look at Devahūti's life, Devahūti, why she achieved it so easily. When I was reading, I was actually coming to many things in my mind. So if you want to know about the person who went back to Godhead, we should know a little bit about her. So Devahūti is said to be a very beautiful woman. When she was a girl and when she was playing on the terrace of her house, she was playing with a ball, and there happened to be a Gandharva was passing on his plane from one place to another. While looking at her beauty, that Gandharva fell down. That means she was that beautiful, very, very beautiful woman. And it is also said, now this will be little, shocking for the new generation. See this, when we read Bhagavatam, it is always said all the women used to play on the terrace. They were not going out a lot, right? Even if you see when Krishna was passing in Mathura, all the ladies were, on the terrace looking at Krishna from the top. So that means they were protected, women were protected. They were not sent out a lot earlier days. They were protected in the house and they listened to their parents. They were not exposed out a lot. This is a very interesting thing. For new generation, it is very shocking because we think that our independence is limited. But you can enjoy more when you are limited, with your under your parents' guidance or under your elders. So this is one thing to understand. Now there is another thing also, like Devahūti. Even though she was very beautiful, she was a daughter of Swayambhanu, right? She was a daughter of Swayambhanu, yes. So she was under her parents. She always listened to her parents, and when the time came for her to get married, she definitely listened to her parents. Her parents took her to Kardama Muni, where Kardama Muni was a rishi. He was not a king or he did not have a lot of possessions. He was living in a hut and he was doing tapasya. For, he was in samadhi, like almost like 10,000 years he was doing tapasya. He had grown matted hair and he was having antheels on him and he was like not in a good shape. But since, parents told that, okay, he is going to be your husband, she really readily agreed and she got married to Kardama Muni. But that is not the end of the story. After she got married to Kardama Muni again went into doing tapasya and forgot about her. And many years, like 1,000 years or something, he went in tapasya. And Devahūti, since the parents married her to Kardama Muni, she did her duties as a wife very nicely. She took care of Kardama Muni. Actually, it is said Patni, meaning the meaning of Patni. In India we say wife meaning Patni. So who is Patni? Patni meaning one who stops the husband from Patit, meaning falling down. So that is called as Patni. So, and she did her duties very nicely in the sense that she did not demand anything from Kardama Muni because he was already in doing tapasya, samadhi and all that, in meditation. So she used to clean the hut, she used to do everything, all the chores, but she did not ask what I will eat or I need some dresses or I need some saris, nothing. She was just beside her husband all the time. And when Kardama Muni came out of his meditation, he saw her and he was like, who are you? He didn't even recognize her. And that time she said, my dear husband, my parents married me to you. You are my husband. You are my Parmeshwar. You are my Lord. And I've been, serving you for so long. She even said that I did not wash my hair or I did not wear luxurious saris. She was a princess, right? She was a king's daughter. But she gave up everything and I did not sleep on the bed, like, cushion bed like that. So I've been beside you for that long. And then Kardama Muni was, he was happy about her. And then when the time came that she said that I want some children, then Kardama Muni changed the situation. He created a nice mahal for her, a palace for her. He created nice, he brought some maid servants and, he gave her luxury. He gave her riches. So then she had 9 daughters from Kardama Muni. But when Kardama Muni, after giving birth to 9 daughters, he was ready to go, She said, my Lord, you are going now. Who will protect me? These daughters, one day they will get married and they will go. But who will protect me? I need someone to protect me. So that time, that time Kardama Muni stayed, and then they gave birth to Kapila Dev. So Kapil Dev is their son, right? And when, being a mother, she asked, how I can get delivered? She asked Kapila Dev, how I can get delivered? So then Kapila Dev told the whole Sankhya philosophy to her, how you can, it's in detail about, anatomy, everything, all the details he told her. And then she listened everything so nicely. That's why it is said that the principle instructed by Kapila, Devahūti soon liberated from material bondage. So she heard it so nicely, she perceived it so well that without difficulty she went back to Godhead. Now there is a nice instruction for all of us here, that we should hear the instruction from our Guru and Srila Prabhupada very nicely. We should try to follow those instructions. So why these temples are there? It's just not for us to come and take darshan of the Lord and leave, but it's there to change our lives. So whatever instructions our Guru gives, we should follow it to our heart. Otherwise there won't be any change. One time one devotee goes and tells his Guru Maharaj that I am not feeling any change. There is no change in my heart. I am not able to experience the love for God. So what should I do? So the Guru Maharaj says, go get a bottle of wine. And the disciple gets a bottle of wine, and the Guru tells him, just take a sip and throw it out. And the disciple follows. So the entire bottle, he follows the same thing. He takes a sip and throw it out. Take a sip, throw it out. The entire wine bottle is over. And then the Guru ask him, is there any change? Do you feeling hallucinated, or do you feel the effect of the wine? The disciple said, Guru Maharaj, you just told me to take a sip and throw it. How will I feel that wine, this thing, effect? Then the Guru Maharaj said, this is what is happening with you. You are chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, listening from one ear, throwing from the other ear. It is never passing inside your heart. That's the reason you are not feeling the effect. So whenever we chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, it is very important that we should not just listen from one ear and throw it out from the other ear. We should actually feel it through our heart. We should, it should pass through your heart. Chant, do not chant through your lips, chant through your heart. Then the changes will come in our heart, correct? Then the cleaning will happen. We are trying to clean our heart. So if we are doing just overall things, it will not work out. So this is one thing, one lesson we get from Devahūti, that she followed exactly what is told to her. Each and every word Kapila Dev instructed, she followed it. Now there are some things, sometimes what happens is, we try to follow what we understand. Like for example, there was a person who developed some sugar issues. First of all, we should understand that we are, like Devahūti, she understood that she is weak. She is a woman, she needs protection, and she needs, somebody to help her with the self-realization. So she understood that part. So we should also understand that we are a conditioned soul and we should seek a doctor, or we are seeking some guru to help us out with our condition, right? Like an example I can give you. Like if you develop some sugar, or you are diabetic, and you go to a doctor and you say that my sugar is increasing every day, what should I do? So doctor says, I will give you some medicine, but tell me something, do you eat sweets? And he says, yes, I do eat sweets. So he said, what do you eat? He says that I eat 5 gulab jamuns every day. So I cannot give up my gulab jamuns. You can tell me anything else, but I cannot give up my sweets. Then the doctor said, if I tell him to stop completely, he will go in shock and he will not even take his medicine. So what he says that, just eat 1 gulab jamun and take your medicine. So, and then he prescribed him some medicine for 2 months. So he goes away and he eats his sweet, he comes to, from 5 gulab jamuns, he comes to 1 gulab jamun. And then he takes his medicine also. So after 2 months, he goes to the doctor and shows his, and they do the test, blood test, and they say that the sugar is not reduced. From 350, it has gone to 430. So the doctor says, what are you doing? Are you not taking the medicine? He says, no, I'm taking the medicine. But then doctor is scratching, wow, what's happening? Why is sugar is not reduced? Then he thinks, okay, can you show me what sweet you eat? And he brings out his big gulab jamun. So because he was told to eat 1 gulab jamun, he increased the size of the gulab jamun, which is equivalent to 5 gulab jamuns. So he did not reduce, in fact, he increased, right? So this is very subtle, but we should know that whatever instructions our Guru Maharaj has given us, or whatever instruction the doctor has given, take it as it is. Don't try to manipulate the instructions. Don't try to create your own rules by accepting it. Like this person, he thought that 1 gulab jamun I can eat a big chunk of it, big one. So similarly, we should not try to manipulate the instructions for our Guru Maharaj has given us. Just follow as it is. That will help in our devotional life, isn't it? So there are also some nice words which are given here. What are the qualities of those who, in the previous shloka, it is said that, in 29, it is said that Devahūti, she was not aware that her hair was sometimes loosened or her garments were disarrayed. So she was totally focused. She was totally, she did not think about her body. She was so much in trance that, because she was, it is like, all the Vaishnavas, we come here, we live in this material world, but we should not be, our goal should be one. Our goal should be to go back to Godhead. You have to fix that goal, right? So if you are not fixed with the goal, your mind will be astray. Okay, that person is progressing in his material life. I need to also do something about it so that I can also progress in my life. So if you flicker from your goal, then you will not achieve your goal. So similarly, when the trance situation comes, when you are totally focused, when your mind is totally into Krishna consciousness, that time you are in trance. And that is the state where Lord loves the most. Lord gives you mercy when you are in, trance. Like, for example, some people, want to hear the Bhagavatam class or want to hear about Krishna Katha. That is the wealth of a devotee, it is said. What is the wealth of a devotee? Krishna Katha, right? Krishna, listening about Hari Katha, listening about Bhagavatam. This is the wealth of devotees. We don't have any other wealth. Whatever we accumulate, we have to throw in this and go. We cannot take anything. But this Krishna Katha wealth, we can take it with us. So once we do that, when we are engrossed, we are in trance. And that time, we are in Vaikuṇṭha. There is no difficulty. When we have achieved that stage, there is no difficulty. That's why she could achieve the state without any difficulty, because she was in trance. Devahūti was in trance. And what is ātmānaṁ? So now ātmānaṁ is a state where you can see the Lord within your heart. So everybody has a super soul inside their heart. Can we see that? No. If we make efforts, can you see that? Can you take a microscope or something to view that? No, we cannot see. But when you are in trance, you can see the Lord within your heart. That is a state where you are very much purified. We all have to come to that stage where we always think about Krishna and we are in, tarantite, ramantite, we are in the happiness about thinking about Krishna like that. So that stage is called ātmānam. So now we are doing a case study where Vidura is trying to understand how to go back to Godhead. And when this ātmānam, brahma-nirvāṇaṁ, he could understand those words. Why? Because he has also felt those words. We all know that when Krishna visited Vidura's house, Vidura was not there in the house, but his wife received Krishna, and she was so much in happiness and nervousness that Krishna came to her house. So do you all know what happened after that? What happened after that? Yes. So when Krishna came to their house, what did she offer? She offered the peels of banana to Krishna, right? And it was so spontaneous that she was just throwing the fruit or the pulp, and she was throwing and giving peels to Krishna. And what happened? Krishna accepted it without disturbing her, without interrupting her. No, you cannot give me the peels. Krishna reciprocated. Krishna just ate the peels. She kept on giving and he kept on eating, right? So this is the exchange, when you are in trance. The Lord also reciprocates, right? So Vidura could understand this ātmānaṁ. And what is brahma-nirvāṇaṁ? Brahma-nirvāṇam meaning your miseries are over. You don't feel any misery after you come to that trance state, or when you see the Lord within yourself. You don't feel any pain from this material world. Do you agree that this material world has lot of pain to give us? Do you? Yes, right? This is full of miseries. So many types of miseries are there. Forget about other miseries. In our own house, we have problem from our wives, children, mother-in-law, father-in-law. So many things are there, right? So many, mother give problem, father give problem because you become devotee. So many problems. But these are, and then it disturbs our mind. We cannot focus on anything because we are always disturbed. Misery, some misery is attacking us. But when you come into this stage where you are in trance, we are always thinking about Krishna, there is no misery, end of the miseries, right? So we have to come to that stage, and then when you have come to that stage, then Lord immediately takes you back to his abode. And in this case, because Devahūti listened to Kapil Dev with lot of attention, and every word what she heard, she tried to follow. So now it is not that, there are so many instructions, so many things given in Bhagavatam. We should at least try to follow 1%, 2%, 3%. That changes our life. So we have to always try to, whatever we hear, we try to imbibe in our lives. That will change our life. And because of that, Devahūti went back to Kapila Vaikuṇṭha. Now, Kapila Vaikuṇṭha is where Kapil Dev is there. There are, in Bhagavatam, it is also telling that, Lord Vishnu has 4 arms. So depending on which arm he is holding the club, which arm he is holding the lotus flower, or which arm he is holding the couch. So depending on that, there are different Vaikunthas. And they said in, Ananta meaning innumerable Vaikunthas are there, right? So depending on Lord Vishnu's positioning of his things, there are innumerable Vaikunthas present in this world. So I think, so Hari Bol, thank you so much for patiently, tolerating me. Any questions or any comments? Yes.
Thank you, Mata. Very nice class on the whole. Just as far as the demigods go, I think you said something that was philosophically incorrect. I'll just read Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, text 23, kind of set it straight. So this is Krishna speaking. He says, "Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way." And then the purport Prabhupada says, "Persons who are engaged in the worship of demigods are not very intelligent. For example, when a man pours water on the leaves and branches of a tree without pouring water on the root, he does so without sufficient knowledge or without observing the regulative principles. Similarly, the process of rendering service to different parts of the body is to supply food to the stomach. The demigods are, so to speak, different officers and directors in the government of the Supreme Lord, and one has to follow the laws made by the government, not by the officers or directors. Similarly, everyone is to offer worship to the Supreme Lord only. That will automatically satisfy the different officers and directors of the Lord. The officers and directors are engaged as representatives of the government, and to offer some bribe to the officers and directors is illegal. This is stated here as avidi porvakam. In other words, Krishna does not approve the unnecessary worship of the demigods." So if we see somebody worshipping the demigods very faithfully and everything, we have to straighten them out. We should hand them a Bhagavad Gita, take them, turn it to text 9, chapter 9, text 23, and ask them to read it and explain it to them. Krishna doesn't encourage worship of the demigods.
Yes, but there is one incident in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits South India and he see a kind of a place where they worship Lord Shiva. He goes in the temple and dances there and offers obeisances. I mean, we respect the demigods. Yes, we respect the demigod, but we don't encourage the worship of the demigod in ISKCON. But if somebody comes with that strong faith on demigods, we shouldn't. I feel like we should not directly. I don't know. Maybe every person's perspective. I think you are right, Prabhu, because Bhagavad Gita says that. So.
That's why I read it.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah, I just want to ask you, we were talking about the demigod. You specifically said that if the worshiper of the demigod has no material desire, they just want to worship that demigod, then that demigod directs them to Lord Krishna.
Yes.
So that particular statement, you have a reference for that?
I don't have reference, but I can tell about myself, Prabhu, if you don't mind. So when I was growing up, my father was a staunch devotee of Lord Ganesha. And being a kid, I also learned from my father to worship Lord Ganesha. And then when I entered college or higher secondary, there was a Ganesha temple next to my college. And I never knew about Krishna at that time. I literally didn't know about Krishna. And if I knew also, I wouldn't worship him because nobody told me that. And because my father had influence on me, I was worshipping Lord Ganesha. And then I used to go to a temple every time to pray. The students used to come and put some Lakshmi in the fund peti and give some fruits and tell the God, please pass me in the exam, please give me good grades, like that. And I was always thinking, I was sitting in the temple and I was thinking, that's the only thing we should ask to the God. Then I was thinking, oh, Krishna, Lord Ganesha, I was praying to him and saying some prayers and all that. And it's like, I don't want to pass the exam, that I can do with hard work, but what is that ultimate thing we should, I was praying that I want something more. I didn't know what I wanted, but I was praying that I want something more, and I didn't know what I wanted actually. But I had some different feeling that we should not always ask, ask is like business type of thing with the God. And eventually I met, my uncle came from Dubai and he was chanting. So he introduced me to chanting and all that. So I felt, okay, this is something different. We are not asking the God here. We are, trying to do something. We are trying to chant the name. So I always feel that, Lord Ganesha directed me to Krishna. I feel from my heart, Prabhu, that, he directed me to Krishna to, accept this bhakti, something like that. So I feel like they help us in Krishna consciousness. I don't know, I don't have any reference for that, but I just feel from my life that, if you are sincere to them and, don't have much desire, they direct you to Krishna. I don't know if I'm wrong, please correct me. Yes.
Yeah, I always heard that if those who worship the demigods, it's not recommended, but at least they're in the Vedic system, so they get opportunity to come into contact with the devotees and Krishna like that. But in and of itself, I never heard, about, people becoming Krishna that particular statement you made, that if you worship a demigod without desire, if that's impossible, that they direct you to Krishna. But anyway, like that. Okay.
Yes, please. Yeah.
This is 7th chapter, text 21 and 22. Krishna says, I am in everyone's heart as the Supersoul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Endowed with such a faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires, but in actuality these benefits are bestowed by me alone. So it's kind of supporting what you said to a certain extent.
Thank you.
First, congratulations for such a beautiful class. I was actually very impressed for your scholarly and your presentation was very, very nice.
I'm just learning.
So basically, what Brihupati Prabhu just read and the comment that he made first, so both statements are correct, right? So what you said that you're feeling and your experience about Ganesh, and what Brihupati Prabhu just read right now, and the previous comment he made, so what I understood is that both statements about demigods is correct. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So and then my question is, when we go back to Vaikuṇṭha, no Krishna Loka, Vaikuṇṭha, like Devahūti, and we get our Swarup, our relationship established with Kapila Dev, so our Swarup is fixed in that Vaikuṇṭha, or do we have the chance to progress and to go to Krishna Loka? How is that works?
As far as I know, according to this particular verse, it says that she stayed in this abode. Devahūti stayed in this abode with her son. So, Brihupati Prabhu or anybody has one comment on
because that? So that's Vatsalya Ras, right? I mean, the relationship with Devahūti and Kapila.
Yeah, it's a
so
mother and son.
In the Vaikuṇṭha, it's a Vatsalya Ras relationship. Because we always heard that in Vaikuṇṭha, there is only Shanta, Dasya, and friendship. But Vatsalya and Madhurya only in Goloka Vrindavan.
You know, Bhishmadev went to Vaikuṇṭha. Bhishmadev didn't go to Goloka Vrindavan. He's one of the Mahajans. So, as I said, it's a big subject. I haven't studied up on it recently, so I don't think I could speak very intelligently about anything, but you know, it's a big one.
What I have been reading also is that there is no impediment for a living entity once you are in one planet, I mean in one Vaikuṇṭha, to promote, if that's your desire there. Normally, most of the living entities or jivas who go to Vaikuṇṭha is because that's what they desire. But there are some of them that they can go. There's no impediment for that.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
So they can still go, Prabhu. So yeah. Okay. Now I have a question. So once we go to the Vaikuṇṭha, whatever rasa we have, does the rasa change after some time? If you like, or it remains the same rasa? No, once you get into Vaikuṇṭha, if you entered Vaikuṇṭha with some rasa, like
Dasya
rasa,
yeah.
So the rasa, does it change afterwards, or it remains the same?
If you go to out of Vaikuṇṭha and go to Goloka Vrindavan, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Can we change the rasa? I mean, like after some time, like.
I always understood that if you go to Vaikuṇṭha, you're so blissfully satisfied, you don't desire to go anywhere else.
I see. Okay.
So just like Devahūti, she has no desire but just to stay in that Vaikuṇṭha planet with her son, who is also Krishna. Okay. So you are so satisfied, so happy, you have no other desire to go anywhere, do anything.
Okay, yes. Nice.
Yeah. In that regards, I was just thinking that even in Goloka Vrindavan, with different rasas, Mother Yasoda is totally fixed in that. Or the cowherd boys, they don't want to be gopis. They just totally immersed in that bhav, emotion.
I see.
So like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, you gave the analogy of the doctor that told that person to eat just one gludjamin, so he ate a big gludjamin. So how would that imply in Krishna consciousness, the Krishna conscious movement? What would your spiritual masters say that you can concoct in a certain way that would be not good for you?
There are like
if you could give it an example.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it.
somebody could say, okay, yeah, I'll just eat once daily, and they can just, eat so much that it's ridiculous. So, I mean, you got to, understand the spirit, just like there's in English, as they say, it's this, understand the spirit of the law, not the letter of the law. So, if you have a cheating mentality, if you're after sense gratification, you could misconstrue. Obviously that instruction is if you eat once daily, it's eat one normal meal daily, not eat like a glutton, and because that would counter, be the opposite. See, so that, you asked for an example, that would be an example. If you got the instruction, eat one meal daily, but you ate like a meal that was like 10 times the normal meal, then that would be an example of how you could,
Yeah.
Also, we have the process of yukta vairagya, which means that we decrease our eating and sleeping. That's the process of a devotee.
Yeah.
Not that you increase anything.
Yeah.
You're automatically involved in decreasing more and more and more.
Yes.
And that's advancement, spiritual advancement.
Yeah, I also have one example wherein Srila Prabhupada, they went to somebody's house and they were served prasadam where it was having onion, garlic. So Prabhupada allowed them to eat. So it doesn't mean that, devotees can think that, because Srila Prabhupada told them to eat one time, that was situational, so we can always eat onion, garlic when we go to somebody's house. That is not acceptable, right? So we manipulate the instructions sometimes. We don't understand the instructions.
Yeah, one time Srila Prabhupada ordered Giriraj Maharaj to eat 12 rasagullas. But special circumstance. It's not for sense enjoyment, because his mother was, saying that his son is like skinny, and so Prabhupada said, eat 12 rasagullas. Wow. In another occasion also, sometimes where in the early days in ISKCON, Kirtanananda was trying to impose that they should not eat too many, I don't know, what was that? Chapatis? No, I think it was, can't remember what was the ingredients. Anyway, he said, oglangemus. And then he was trying to restrict because he was in charge, to the other disciples. And when Prabhupada came back, he heard about this. He says, okay, all of you can eat more than 3 or 4, but except Kirtanananda. It's just like, different.
Yeah. Yes.
I have sometimes problems understanding what, the comment that Subhas Prabhu made about sleeping, because what I see is that the doctors outside, they recommend to have a good quality of sleeping, and also when you sleep many hours and good quality, you feel that your body is very good rested, and your day is very productive, your mind is very productive, you're very alert. So how to understand that we were told that we have to reduce our sleeping, and we want to do more service, or we want to be more engaged? How to understand these two concepts? That I have actually very hard to understand, because my experience is that when I have very good quality and quantity of sleeping, my day goes amazing. But
no, actually, that's a very good question, Prabhu, but I have the answer for that. See, when we say that we become devotees and we are doing service, even sleeping is a service. You have to take it like that. So if you need sleep to do your next service better, you have to take that. You have to do that service of sleeping also. We have to take it. Our whole life is a service, isn't it? Once you become a devotee, whole life is a service. So do whatever it is needed to do all the services nicely. So this is my understanding, Prabhu.
It's also a general rule. These are individual cases, but there's a general rule in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says that yukta hara viharasya, yukta swagna babodasya. And that one says that a person who is regulated in his eating, sleeping, recreation, work, can mitigate all the sufferings, yoga bhavati dukkha, all the troubles that you might have. So you might think, okay, I need this much, but if still you're not doing what the Bhagavad Gita says, you get in trouble, you get sick.
Yeah,
but maybe for someone like Bhima, the Pandavas, he was a Kshatriya, big brother, so he will eat what was needed for his body, but not the other ones. Anyway.
Yeah, what is needed? That is the answer actually. You have to understand your own body, and then we are not doing the sense gratification here. We are trying to do the next service better. So we think like, okay, this much is needed for me, let me do this. And then if you extend and you just only do that, then that's no meaning, right?
So basically it comes down to individual
Yes,
needs.
yes. And some people can take good sleep for 8 hours, some people can sleep for 6 hours, so it depends on their body structure also. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.